Okay, so this will be a video case on perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. Today, I will be acting as the therapist, and I will be with Mindy, who has been referred to outpatient therapy after giving birth. Hi, Mindy. My name is Kendra. I'm going to be the therapist working with you today.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask you if I have your verbal consent on completing this therapy session.
Yes.
Okay. I also just wanted to disclose to you that the information shared in therapy, it will be kept private. Um, I will have to reach out to somebody else if I feel as if you're a direct threat to yourself or the people around you. Okay.
hmm
Alrighty. What brings you in today?
so I am here because I have been feeling indifferent about my situation. I just had my third child. I did have my daughter. She's a couple weeks old now. And I this time around is a little different for me. With my two sons, I was still able to work. It's been a little overwhelming with my daughter. I have felt like it's been best to leave work and stay home with everything that's going on. She is more of a needier child. She likes to be close. She demands a little bit more attention. My husband has changed his work schedule, since our middle child, our middle son. So he isn't home as much. I am kind of more responsible for making sure they get to school and doing all those things. So just been struggling a little bit with that transition. Figured that it would be best to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, it was a great choice for you to come in, and I'm so happy you're here today. Um, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate and you're going through a lot emotionally, physically after having a baby. And I can see how this is impacting your life significantly. The goal here is to hopefully help you find coping strategies in order to cope with this transitional period, like you had said. Um, do you now coming into this therapy, do you have any specific goals that you wanted to address, or are you kind of open?
I mean, I'm pretty open to suggestions at this point in time.
Okay.
I've, like I said, I've been struggling. The main thing is, I guess I feel like I can't really um, do the things that I used to do with leaving work. Before I left work, that gave me, I was forced to leave the house. I was forced to have a little bit of me time, even though that was work. I wasn't constantly surrounded by my children, and that sounds terrible. You shouldn't not want to be around your children. But now I'm there all the time. And this time I'm struggling with these thoughts that, like, my daughter is something's going to happen to her. And they really upset me. I've never had those before. I would never ever do anything to hurt my children. But I've got a lot of anxiety. I can't sleep. It's all kind of overwhelming.
Mhm.
So, just figuring out a way to get all of this fixed
Okay.
is my goal.
Okay. So I just want to let you know you're not crazy for not wanting to be with your children 24/7. It's very overwhelming, especially with three children. So I don't want you to feel like you're a bad mom for feeling that way. It's completely, in a sense, normal. So I know you just had stated that you have these negative feelings towards the baby. Is that what you said? You
Um,
had some
so
negative.
Yeah, not negative feelings towards the baby, but I get these thoughts that I'm, either going to drop her or something bad is going to happen to her, or if she's not with me all the time, somebody else is going to do something to her. So, a- and they're happening almost daily, and they're really upsetting. And then I get dreams, of the same manner where ultimately she's hurt. And I don't
Okay.
know what's causing them.
So can you think back, when was the last time you had this negative thought? And what was the negative thought?
Um, Yesterday I was doing dishes and she was in her bouncer. The boys were running around her playing with their cars,
Mhm.
and every mom's fear is it got quiet. So, I turned to run into the living room, dropped dishes on the ground. I just had a thought that, one of them had done something to her, and I was going to run in and she was going to be laying there dead. I was
Mhm.
terrified. Obviously, I got in there and she was sleeping and there was nothing wrong, and the boys had just went into a different room.
Okay. So that's a very scary situation to be put in. Having that feeling that, your baby who you just had, it's going to be dead. That is so scary. How how did you not fall apart in that moment? How did you not lose it, like, in your mind almost? Like, how did you recover, in a sense, from having that negative thought of, oh my gosh, my baby is not going to be here anymore? And then you find your baby and she's fine. Like, how do you recover from that?
I don't know that I do recover.
Okay.
I feel like I have two children that are somewhat aware of what's going on. So
Okay.
you have to stay strong for them and put on a good front, but those feelings are always, in there. And I don't really have any time to step away for a moment to recover. So you just kind of hold it inside.
Okay. All right. I totally understand where you're coming from. I was going to see if you could tell me or think of a time when this problem, having this chaotic environment you live in with your kids and then your baby, think of a time when this problem wasn't present in your life. And can you describe, that time?
Like before kids, like when I had
Yeah.
or when I had a job or
Before kids, before having the children, and having, the stress of a baby.
okay. So before kids, I worked full-time job.
Hmm.
We would both go to work. My husband and I come
Okay.
home, generally have 2 or 3 date nights a week. Um, you know, enjoy each other's company, watch movies. I would socialize with my friends, go out, have conversations, adult conversations. Um, you know, a lot less worry. We weren't financially burdened. Kind of since me leaving my job, that is another stressor that I'm dealing with. But there was a lot less weight on my shoulders, I should say. So, I never really experienced this feeling before.
Okay. So, so you kind of just explained that, before kids, you were able to have quality time with your husband, friends, and have more adult interactions instead of everything being surrounded around kids and babies and school with them, right?
Right.
Okay. Um, I want to ask you another question. I want you to, it's called the miracle question, and I want you to just pretend that a miracle happens overnight and you wake up the next day, not knowing that a miracle has happened, but you wake up the next day and you just go on with life. What in your life would be different? Like, what would you not experience anymore that kind of gave you that stress and anxiety? What would it look like?
Um, I believe I would still be working. I don't want to take time away from my baby, but I do, even part-time, I would like to be working part-time.
Okay.
That way I still have quality time with her. I would, wake up and still have my same routine with my children. I enjoy my time with my children. Go to work part-time, but on an occasional night, maybe that night, have a date night with my husband, and come home at a decent time. And then maybe a movie night with the kids where we're all sitting there together and enjoying each other's company and, stress free and no worry or burden that's on my plate.
Okay. That sounds awesome. And my follow-up question to that is going to be on a scale of 1 to 10, how, so one being it's not attainable, 10 being yes, I can and my family can attain this. What do you think? Like, do you think that this goal and this miracle almost, do you think it's attainable on a scale of 1 to 10?
Looking at it now, I would say it's definitely obtainable. I maybe a 7. I just don't know how to get there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just don't know how to get there.
That's very high, and that's very reassuring that you mentally feel that I will get out of this. It's just, and I will have that life that will bring me comfort and joy. So you will, it's nice that you have that mindset. It's just like you said, the fact of we need to get to that point. So you did great during this therapy session. I do want to just kind of leave you with a little homework almost. So I want you to think about what you don't want to change about your life, and what's in your everyday life. What do you not want to change? Okay. I know it's a weird kind of question because we tend to focus on what we do want to change to make our lives better, but um, thinking about this one thing that is actually really good in your life, that you do not want to touch or change, that can really help um, pulling out the positive in every situation.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Mhm.
So how did you enjoy this session? Would you like to have a follow-up session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alrighty, sounds good. So I'll see you in a month. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It was very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.